Hey, loves. Welcome back to Service with Love. As always, I am your host, Desi, and it is officially Thursday, guys. The week has definitely flew by, at least for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but um, I cannot wait until my weekend starts again. Anyways, I hope you guys were having a great week. It's Friday Junior. Let's get these goals out the way and continue on to manifest anything that we are looking to get in life. And let's keep it going, guys. So, today I have a very interesting topic, and I kind of wanted to do this because I think it's something that we tend to overlook in life, and we shouldn't. I think this is very important for all of us, especially for those who are constantly like on a schedule, constantly like working and like just on the go, so to say. And I think I came up with this topic because I don't know if anyone else has been feeling like this lately, but I have been in like a funk, so to say, or not even like a funk. That's not the word I want to use, but it's it's been rough, guys, so to say. It's been a rough couple of weeks, and normally I'm the type of person to kind of just like get over shit quick and kick myself in the butt and just keep on moving because life doesn't stop, right? So you have to continue to work forward and achieve your goals or continue to work. And I think that this is a great topic to talk about. So I'm naming this sixth episode "Stop Leaving Yourself on Empty." Now, before I get into the topic, isn't it ironic or isn't it crazy how we're already on number six? I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I'm going to be doing these podcasts by seasons. So I'm going to stop at number 11. Now, I know many of you guys are probably like, why not just 10, guy? Well, number 11 is a very dear number to me, and it's just always been my favorite number. So we're going to stick with it. And that's my like lucky number. So I'm going to give you guys a free extra episode, so to say. So hopefully you guys will stick around and see what's next for season two. It's crazy, right? Anyways, let's just get into the topic, right? So, what I mean by stop leaving yourself on empty is I feel like we tend to overwork ourselves, right? So, as Americans, we are taught to constantly, work, work, work. We literally live to work. And it's sad, kind of. And not even in America, like, because, there's places where, like, it's a lot slower than others. Like, for example, like, I've obviously, if you guys didn't know yet, I'm from New Jersey, and New Jersey and New York were like hand in hand with work and our ethics, and we're constantly on the go and we're rushing for everything because we swear we don't have enough time in the day to get the things that we need to get done. And you know, if you're in New Jersey or if you're in New York, you probably never really like see it. Like you don't see it as rushing. You just see it as like an everyday thing. But when I moved to like California and like I was living in San Diego, or even when I was visiting from time to time, everything was like so slow paced, guys. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning it annoyed the shit out of me because I was like, yo, why is everybody like not in a rush to get to Walmart? Why is everyone just like slowing down? Like traffic out there is insane. If you think New York's traffic is bad, you don't even want to see LA's and San Diego's traffic. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is basically the time like that they focus on is completely different from what we focus on. Like we're constantly like, oh, I have to do this and then I have to do this, and we don't have any breaks in between. Versus in California, they kind of are like more slow paced, and we're like, we're gonna get it done and we're gonna get it done at our pace and everything's gonna be fine. And it's just like it was something that I had to learn throughout like living there, and I never really got accustomed to it. But it was good to see how, work really isn't everything, and like we are so consumed on, making sure that we are constantly working, or making sure that we get things done on time, or we're just constantly going, constantly like overwhelming ourselves, so to say, and we don't know when maybe enough's enough, and maybe it's time to slow down, and maybe you do need that rest. So I kind of just like reflected on that this week, especially today. Like I literally just came from work. I just worked a 10+ hour shift, and I was like, oh my god, I have to film my podcast, and it's ironic that today's episode is gonna be about taking it easy and like stop leaving yourself on empty. And sometimes it's okay to have a rest day, or sometimes it's okay to not get the work done in a certain timeline, or it's okay to sometimes use your paid time off, guys. And I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers today. We were talking about how it's insane how, we're constantly working at our jobs. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure if you have a career, for the most part, you're pretty happy with your career. And if not, I hope that you love what you do, whatever it is that you're doing. But it's like a constant, like I get up, I go to work, and then I go to sleep, and then I do it constantly. And after a while, you start to see that all you have in life is either work, sleep, or you're doing like your normal chores. And like, at what time do you have pretty much time for yourself? Or like, I don't know, like I've always been that type of person. Like I surround my life with work. And if I have a sick day, I'm extremely sick. Or if I have to call out of like work, I'm basically dying for the most part. If I want to take a vacation, I feel so bad even asking for my pay time off. And it's just, you can't be that way, because I saw a meme or a saying the other day on Instagram that says something along the lines where it they basically was touching um, upon how, you know, your job is going to always be there. And even when you're not there, your job is going to continue. So let's just say, like, you die tomorrow. They're just going to go and put out your position the next day. So don't be afraid to take that time off. You're entitled to it. That's what it's there for. Don't be afraid to take a sick day. Don't be afraid to take a personal day when you need it. And don't be afraid to take a mental health day, because you need it. You are human, and you can't constantly keep pouring an empty cup into another empty cup, because at some point there's not going to be nothing left, right? So you're pouring what exactly? You're going to be left on empty, and then that's not good for anyone, because you're going to be burnt out, and then you're going to be stressed, and then you're going to have anxiety, and then you're going to get depressed, and then it's just going to make a lot of like uncalled for health issues, so to say. So basically, you want to think of yourself like a car. Every day you go to work and you drive, right? And your car needs gas. And when you drive that car, after a while, you see that the gas tank starts to go on E. It's the same thing with the human body. You're constantly working, but you also need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that includes mental health. That includes getting your rest. I know people who work like 16 hours a day, go to sleep for like 3 hours, and then go right back to work. And it's like, that's insane. You're going to crash. Like, at some point, you're going to crash. It's not good for your health, and it's not good for your emotional health, and it's not good for your family either, because then you start to become a burden in a sense, because you're stressed out, or you become depressed, or you're so frustrated and overwhelmed, and you start to crash and you take it out on others. So don't be afraid to kind of sit back, and just give yourself that time that you need. And just, again, stop leaving yourself on empty, because it does nothing for you. I think it's important because I think it's important to stress that we need breaks every now and days. And it's important that you don't punish yourself for breaks. And I used to do this a lot in the beginning of my fitness journey. I would take like, I don't know, 4 days off. And then when I'd go back into it, I'd go extra hard in the gym because I was punishing myself for taking a break. And it's like, no, I was listening to my body at that moment and it needed a break and it's okay. And now I'm back on it. I could just do my normal routine. And I started to learn that. And I think we need to start programming our minds to be okay with, you know, giving ourselves some slack because we are our hardest critics and most of us are going to want to continue to do better for like one another. And overall, I think it's gonna be beneficial to you if you stop and be like, you know what, today my head's not in it, so I'm gonna give myself that mental day, and I'll try again tomorrow. It's just as simple as that. I think we tend to overlook um, breaks, and we tend to overlook, you know, our bodies and what our minds are telling us. But if you start to really get in tune with yourself, you'll know when you need that break. You'll know when you're about to crash. And you shouldn't get to that point by all means, but it happens. You know, I know that most of us like to work. Most of us like to, you know, kind of overwhelm ourselves, so to say. I mean, at least for me, like I've always been uncomfortable standing still, or like I always was uncomfortable doing nothing because I felt like I was unproductive if I wasn't doing nothing. And even on my off days, sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm watching Netflix, but what should I really be doing? Should I be recording up for a podcast? Should I be cleaning? Should I be cooking? Maybe I have to go make doctor's appointments or take Laszlo somewhere. Like I'm always constantly like making sure that whatever I need to get done is done quickly and right away so that I do have those breaks now. So I think that was my realization for today, and I definitely wanted to share it with you guys. I do have a couple of points that I did also wanted to mention. Okay, so I wrote down sometimes doing the most isn't good, and I agree. Sometimes we tend to try and be the best at everything that we do, and unfortunately or fortunately, you're not going to be the best at everything, and that's okay. And all that matters is putting your effort in. Like sometimes your effort is just good enough, you know? Like you don't always have to be like on a constant like competition with whatever it is, or you don't always have to be the best at what you're trying to do or figure out. And again, I know I touched on this plenty of times, and it's definitely something that we all again need to practice doing more so, and it's saying no to things that we don't want to do, or saying no to things that we know we can't handle, because I think we're so afraid of people when we of people knowing that sometimes we can't do certain things, and like sometimes we feel like we're superheroes and we just want to like be able to take on multiple tasks at once. And the reality is like we're only human and we can only focus on several things at once. And I rather focus on three things than seven things, and maybe miss something and then make a mistake out of those seven things. So rather than just focusing and giving my undivided attention to each task for those three things, that's gonna be able to, you know, help me kind of get the task done quicker and better, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a really long day, and I'm just like, my mind has so much that it wants to say, but like, I'm trying to make sure it all makes sense at the same time. So bear with me if I'm like everywhere, because I really was like, it's weird. I was in my car for several hours and I was thinking about how I was going to mention some of the categories that I had written down. And like, maybe I'm weird, but like sometimes I go through the scenarios in my head and I'll like try and like not rehearse it, but like try to make sure like, okay, like if I was recording right now, what would I say? And then like I'd like, give myself like a little rehearsal, so to say, to see how it sounds out loud, or like um kind of just get my thoughts out more clear there. And then if I need to, I'll write it down so that I can remember it for the actual footage. I don't know if it helps. Sometimes I feel like I'm everywhere, but I don't know. I I hope it makes sense, guys. Um oh, this is a big one that I wanted to touch on. Sometimes it's okay to drop your timeline. And this this one right here hits home because I am a planner, guys. Like I've always been like that weird girl that was like, okay, at this age, I'm going to do this. And at this age, I'm going to do this. Like at 15, I wanted to be done with my first kiss. I don't know why. I just did. And then at like 18, I wanted to make sure that like I was like accepted into college. And then at 21, I wanted to be 100% graduated from college. And then I've always said that by the age of 25, I wanted to be married. And at the age of 27, I wanted to have a kid. And like so on and so forth. And what I realized is that life sometimes doesn't follow that timeline. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to just get over it and adjust your timeline or drop it all in all. And I think no, neither one is wrong, but just understand that it's okay if you do drop your timeline, that you're going to be okay, pretty much is what I'm saying. Cuz I mean, thank God for the most part I've been on my timeline, so to say. I think the only other thing that I felt like I needed to do, and I always said I would do, is own a home by 25, and now I'm 25 and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking because I need to be financially stable. Not that I'm not, but I I just want to be a lot better compared to where I'm at now. So I don't think that's gonna happen, and I am okay with that. But yeah, so dropping your timeline, what's meant for you will come in its time. You can't, and I don't know how many people are on here or religious, but you can think of it as a religious aspect or in general. But God has the timing, guys. God is the only one that's going to tell you when the perfect time is for everything. And this is something I've always struggled with. I still struggle with it. I'm not perfect, but I've started to trust God's timing and what He's doing. And I understand why He does the things that He does throughout my times. Maybe not at that moment, but maybe like a year later after that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's why God wanted me to do this and wait, you know? So I think everything happens in God's timing. So stop giving yourself a timeline. So, all in all, I have here is basically get out of your head and give yourself the break. Stop beating yourself for resting, guys. And this, I tell myself every day, it's okay, Des. You can have a lazy day. It could be a lazy 2 days or even 3 days. Sometimes you really do need that 3 days, especially now with the pandemic and us not being able to travel or like travel to where we actually want to go. Sometimes you just need that mental break or mental vacation and that staycation at home. So you give yourself those 4 or 5 days or how many days that you need off. But I think it also helps that when you do dedicate those days off, really be off. Like I've I've been home on vacation maybe like a couple of times. And out of those times, I'm home on vacation, but I'm working doing my house chores or something. But I think that the next time you do like a staycation, try to actually do nothing. You know, set up like your Netflix and put all the movies that you like ever wanted to watch, put them on your list and try to watch them. Or like do something fun, paint, do whatever it is. But just make sure you're getting those times off because leaving yourself on empty isn't good for anyone. It's not good for you. It's not good for your boss. It's not good for your family. And no one wants you to crash, you know? And you shouldn't want that either. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's episode. I didn't want to go too in depth with it because it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, just take care all in all you and your health, and give yourself the time that you need, and understand that it is okay to not do anything. It is okay for you not to be productive. Um, and with that being said, I think it's all right to end this episode. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you were serviced with love today. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. If you're listening on any platform, please be sure to subscribe and download the episode and leave comments, guys. I definitely like getting feedback, negative, positive, whatever it is. It always helps the show out, and I kind of just see where you guys are interested in far as like topics. So, with that being said, I will see you next Thursday. Bye, guys.